because I actually came across a show where Stephen A. Smith was responding to some of the comments that Cam Newton made in terms of Tom Brady getting those contracts, and he was essentially questioning, like, what kind of media training is Tom Brady doing? Like, what qualifies him to get this type of contract? And Stephen A. Smith he pushed back on Cam Newton pretty vehemently, because it seemed like Cam Newton was trying to suggest that race is the reason if Fox Sports gave Tom Brady a $375 million deal to talk about football. So that's what we want to get into. So what we want to do now is we actually want to play what Stephen A. Smith had to say. I want you guys to listen to his entire argument, and then we're going to come back and really get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Take a listen to that there.
7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady signed a 10-year, $375 million contract with Fox Sports in May 2022 to become their top NFL analyst. He will finally make his broadcasting debut this fall. Months after retiring for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jason Kelce signed a multi-year contract with ESPN and will join the Monday Night Countdown pregame crew and will be an analyst for the Monday Night Football halftime program. Cam questioned why the same opportunities aren't given to athletes of color too. And he said this, quote, "I'm always going to tell Tom Brady, Tony Romo, Greg Olsen, Troy Aikman, Matt Ryan to go get the bag. What I am doing is saying, how in the world are they the only ones that's getting access to these types of contracts? Because somebody told me, well, you don't get these contracts because you're not polished yet. What type of media training did Tony Romo have before he just popped up commentating on the game?" End quote. Let me try to be highly sensitive to this, because this is my brother we talk about, Cam Newton here. Take Tom Brady out of the sentence. Take him off the subject matter. He's a 7-time Super Bowl champion, okay? He has the credentials to talk football. He knows it inside out as a quarterback, a Super Bowl champion quarterback. You played the same position. You went to one Super Bowl and lost. He won 7. He went to 10. You see the difference? You can't put Tom Brady. You got a point with Tony Romo. I'm not talking about Tony Romo's talent in the booth. I'm talking about the road he traveled to get to the booth. You do have a point there, but one could argue he's a cowboy. Take Troy Aikman out, 3-time Super Bowl champion for the Dallas Cowboys. So not only does he have the backdrop and the cachet and the prowess of being a former Cowboy, America's team, worth $9 billion, when everybody else is worth $5 billion. With the Commanders, Josh Harris bought that for $6 billion with his group. But the Cowboys do resonate. So you can't use Troy Aikman, who's got that and 3 Super Bowl championships, and you damn sure can't bring Tom Brady into the equation. When you win 7 Super Bowls, when you won more Super Bowls than Terry Bradshaw, than Joe Montana, than Troy Aikman, than Steve Young, than John Elway, than Roger Staubach, when you won more Super Bowls than anybody in the sport, when you yourself as an individual has won more Super Bowls than 99% of the teams in the league, actually 100%, because I don't know one franchise that has 7 Super Bowl championships, because he got one with Tampa. You can't question anything about Tom Brady. 10 years, $375 million, damn it, he deserves every penny. Troy Aikman deserves his bag. Tony Romo, he was a cowboy. He's damn good at his job, but Cam makes a good point. Matt Ryan, yet to be seen. Went to the Super Bowl, blew a 25-point lead, never won a Super Bowl championship, might be going to the Hall of Fame, but I get where Cam's coming from. Overall, Cam, here's what it gets back to. You have to look the part to some degree, be the part. You have to be somebody. It ain't just about being polished. It's about a willingness to be. It's not about telling the world you want to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, but I want your money. You got to show a willingness to capitulate to those who are paying the money and what they want to some degree, not totally. We ain't talking about selling your soul. We're not talking about shedding who you are and what you bring to the table. But if the look, along with how polished you come across, is what matters to them, and they're the ones with the bag. If you want the bag, You got to capitulate. See, what we got to stop doing is lying to people, especially youngsters on the come up. You can do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, without giving a damn about what anybody else wants or what anybody else feels, but I still want your money. No.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. First of all, let me say this. When he was speaking, I was listening very, very, very carefully to ascertain the points he was making and understand whether or not he was being fair. He brought up the point of Tom Brady having the credentials to speak about football at a high level based off of his resume, and therefore that would garner him such a contract. For that, I 100% agree. If you look at Tom Brady's resume, who better to talk football than Tom Brady? Who better? When you look at the Super Bowls and all of those things that he's won, also the position that he played as a quarterback, so it's really hard to argue against anybody else. And if you're arguing in terms of the juxtaposition between, for example, instead of giving a Tom Brady that type of contract versus a Cam Newton, I don't think you can make any argument to give Cam Newton a similar contract if you have similar dollars, if you can go out there and get a Tom Brady. Because although Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl, I don't think he won a Super Bowl. Tom Brady did it 7 times. And he has all of these other records where, and most people regard him as the greatest NFL player ever. That's like usually what most people think, right? So in the case of Fox Sports giving him a $375 million deal, it's a no-brainer because you can't find a more qualified candidate out there.